December 23rd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I am meteorologist Matthew East here on this Thursday morning, the eve of Christmas Eve, if you will. And of course, everybody talking about the Christmas storm system. And I got to tell you, the confidence is not very high still with the specifics of this system. I don't really have a lot of changes to my overall thinking, the overall ideas I've been laying out there, but the specifics are still very much up in the air. Stick with me here as we go through this video. Let's start off with the radar imagery this morning and look back in Arizona. That is piece number one to the puzzle around here for Christmas. You're looking at some precipitation there in Arizona with a very strong upper level low or upper level disturbance. And the other piece of the puzzle is up here in the northern plain states. Let me kind of show you a neat looking water vapor satellite image here. And again, there's piece number one. The other piece is up here in the northern plains. And this piece of energy will dive off in this direction while this piece heads down in this direction. And the degree to which they interact with each other in this part of the country is going to mean all the difference in the world as to what happens. What will happen, generally speaking, is that there'll be an area of low pressure develop right in this area that'll then take a track something like that. But the more these two interact, or the more they phase, the stronger this low will be along its track. Now, yesterday, a lot of the models were really bombing this low out by the time it got into this position. The models are generally weaker with it, although the 6C GFS has come around a little bit more to kind of what I think the overall right idea may be. I'll show you the 6E GFS in just a moment. There's the upper air chart for today, the southwestern disturbance. This is back from the 0Z run, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like this afternoon. All right, now I'm going to take you through, first of all, the 0Z GFS, and then I'll take you through some of the other modeling. Today, here we are. It's going to be a chilly day. We had a very nice afternoon yesterday. It was one of the nicest days we've had this month. But back to colder air today. Piedmont highs in the 40s. Pretty blustery northwest wind, kind of gusty at times today as well. Well down into the 20s tonight. Christmas Eve tomorrow, we're going to be precipitation free here in our region. And it's going to be kind of chilly again. Highs in the 40s tomorrow. Let's go out, though, to Christmas Day. And this is, again, the 0Z run of the GFS. And the 0Z run spread some light snow into parts of the Tennessee Valley, up into Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia. And then this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon Christmas Day. And then this is the preset from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Christmas Day. And that is light snow spreading through the upstate of South Carolina into a good chunk of North Carolina. And as that low tightens up a bit near the Outer Banks, the area of snow kind of consolidates. That band forms on the back side of the low from close to Raleigh-Durham, then up into southeastern Virginia. The low then lifted up off the New England coast, kind of sideswiped parts of northern and eastern New England. Let me kind of show you the upper levels of the European model. Now, of course, the European had brought this historic-looking snowstorm on quite a few of its past runs. This is the latest run, the 0Z run. All right, let's go back here. Let's go back to this frame. This is 1 o'clock in the morning, Christmas morning. There's the southern piece of energy. Here comes the northern piece of energy. And the European was a little slower in phasing it. So here we are, and it's still not consolidated by Saturday evening into one big storm system. Remember I mentioned before in some of the discussions, and I think even on the video as well, most of the European models have been consolidating this right in this region. It was a little slower here on the 0Z run. It eventually did get there, but it was a little bit slower. And so the result was a farther offshore track than some of the previous European model runs had shown. We're talking about phasing of two pieces of energy. We're talking if they phase 6 hours later, it makes a huge difference. Now let's go to the 6C run of the GFS. This is the one just in. And this is Christmas, 7 o'clock in the evening. Light snow, North Georgia, upstate into parts of North Carolina. Low pressure, a little bit healthier looking there in the Florida Panhandle. 6 hours later, the low strengthening near Savannah. And notice the snow's picking up in intensity in the upstate of South Carolina, up into the I-85 corridor. And it spreads into the I-95 corridor as well as we get into Sunday very early morning. This is 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. Sunday morning's precip, and then that low pulls farther northward Even northeastern North Carolina getting into the snow there on the latest run of the GFS, and then this winds up being a pretty good hit for the New England states. This is the total precipitation, liquid precip, from that 6C, the latest run of the GFS, and this is valid through 7 o'clock in the evening Sunday. And so you're looking I-85 from North Georgia into much of the upstate toward Charlotte and Greensboro, somewhere between a quarter and a half of an inch of liquid equivalent precip. And so that is certainly a wetter, stronger trend with the low than the 0Z run. One final chart here, I guess two final charts to show you. This is from the HPC. This is their snow accumulation probabilities, and these are the probabilities of 4 to 8 inches of snow, at least 4 inches here, and you're looking at a wide, slight probability running from northeastern Alabama into the Piedmont of North Carolina, and a little bit of a higher probability there, 40% there in a small area. And then there's the greater than 8-inch probability, that 10% chance running from northeast Georgia, extreme northwestern South Carolina, into southwestern North Carolina. And this runs through 7 a.m. Sunday. So, there is still, frankly, a lot of uncertainty with exactly how this thing is going to unfold. The trend with the 0Z models was for a later or delayed phase of the two features I've been discussing with you, and that resulted in a less strong low pressure for the southeast and lower snow amounts, and the higher snow totals kind of shifting up in some cases to the New England states. Now again, we're just getting some of the 6Z, the latest data trickling in. I think the 12Z runs today are going to be very interesting to watch. I don't know how well the 0Z models really sampled that southern branch system. It's strong, and I don't know that the models that are weakening that so significantly as it enters the plain states, I don't necessarily think that's right. So I think we'll see some interesting developments on the 12Z rise. That'll probably begin to kind of lay the story out for us a little bit clearer. General idea here, though, for me is unchanged. I still think Christmas Day into Saturday night, we'll see some at least light snow pressing into much of the region. Upstate, much of North Carolina, even down into north and northeast Georgia. Amounts, though, are still very much up in the air. It could wind up that this be a deal that, if, depending on how quickly it phases, the heaviest snow totals being between I-85 and I-95, it might be somewhere else. It's just really impossible to tell at this point. We're going to have to watch the phasing of these two systems. Very much up in the air, very interesting to watch. And the sooner it phases, the better for the I-85 corridor from the upstate through Charlotte and Greensboro. The sooner it phases, most likely, the better overall, the stronger the system will be. The later it phases, the more east and northeast the area of heaviest snow will shift. I think at the moment we can step away from the idea of one of these foot-plus snow events, although that is still within the realm of possibility. I think it looks less likely. But still, the chance of some accumulating snow Christmas Day and Saturday night is still very much alive and on the table. How much, don't know yet. All right, that's it for today. I've babbled enough. Have a great day, and God bless.